Welcome to our EduLoops webinar on creating newsletters. This webinar is for teachers, directors, and specialists because each of you can create newsletters on your particular page. To access the text editor for you to be able to create a newsletter, you need to first go to your class page if you're a teacher, go to your specialist page if you're a specialist, or go to the director's blog if you're a director. For this webinar, we'll be working from the class page. Once on your particular page, you go to the Add menu and choose Text Item. Add Text Item will open the text editor for you. It will first pop up a dialog box that offers you some templates. You can start from scratch using the empty template, or you may choose to use one of our pre-designed suggested templates. If you choose to use one of our templates, you simply click on the template and it will open the text editor with some color and layout already there for you. Before you actually get started on your newsletter, we suggest you name it right away. And then you're ready to begin. Down below the title of the newsletter, you're going to see our text editor. Across the top of this text editor, you will have several buttons. Some of these may look familiar to you. If a button does not look familiar, all you have to do is point to it with your mouse and hover a minute or a second, and the little tag will pop up and let you know what that button does. Okay, if you're using one of our templates, you have the ability to replace any text that we've typed and also to fill in your own graphics and your own text. Should you decide that you do not like the text that we've suggested, you can drag over it with your mouse and you can either replace it or you can delete it. So for this first title, I'm going to change it. Instead of saying this week we learned about, I'm going to take out that phrase we learned about and just reduce it to this week. So you can replace the text that we've suggested in the headers if you need it to say something a little more specific to your newsletter. We've given you some placeholders for images. You can put clip art in these places. You can copy and paste photos in these places if you wish. You can also copy and paste other images. For this first example, we are going to use clip art. To use our clip art folder, you simply click the placeholder, go up to the image manager, click on the image manager, and our clip art folders will open. To open the clip art folders to view the images, you simply click on the folder on the left. And you can continue opening the different levels of folders simply by clicking on them. When you see the image that you think you would like in the middle, you can click on it and get a larger view over here on the right. If that is the image that you want, you click Insert. If it's not the image you want, you just continue with the process over here by clicking on a folder and then choosing the image that you do want. When you're ready to insert the image, click Insert, and the image will go into your newsletter. Many times this image will come in and it will not be the size that you would like it to be. It may be too large or it may be too small. To size an image, you simply click on it. You get these little handles around the image. Go to a corner and drag in to make the image smaller, or drag out from the corner to make the image larger. So you can adjust the size. So to review one more time, we're going to add another image down below. To add an image from the ClipArt folder, you click on our placeholder. You go to your image manager. You go through your folders. You find the piece of ClipArt that you would like, and you click Insert. If the size of the image is not your desired size, you click on the image, go to a corner, drag in to make the image smaller, or you can drag out to make the image larger. Now you're ready to adjust or to change the text, to add your own text. We've given you just a few words here. You can select our text by dragging over it, and you would type your own text here. So you would type your text where I'm typing. And the same thing down below. We have provided some bolding, like if the first line is bold and then the rest of this is body text. So you would just type the body of your this particular cell on your newsletter. If you do not like the formatting that we've provided, you can change the font. You can change the size of the font, the color of the font. To do that, you would just make sure the text is highlighted, and then you come up to the buttons that are provided. You do have bold, italics, and underline here. Over here you have your text color, so if you want to change the color of the text. And you can even change the background, so I'm going to choose yellow for that. And if I move my cursor, now the text is blue and the background is yellow for that text. So to format the text, you drag over it, you choose the formatting that you wish. You've got some common ones here, bold, italics, underline, the color of the text, and then the background of the text. I'm going to change this to a bright green. You can also adjust the actual font up here at the top. You can choose a different font, and you can choose a different size. So you would type the text that you wish here. If you need to type a paragraph and you think it's going to be larger than this, do not worry. As you type, this box will expand with your text. So notice I'm just hitting the enter key and it's expanding. Okay, so to replace our text, you drag over it and you choose whatever font colors, font size, and type whatever you need it to say. When you are working with a document, you've got some options up here at the top. You can publish it if you're ready for it to go to the parents. If you need to work on it again before you actually publish it, you can click Save Draft, and it will put it in your draft folders. And then you can also cancel. Cancel is going to wipe it out and not save any part of what you've worked on. So if you're going to come back to it, click Save Draft, and it will put it in your draft folder. Notice it's not showing here on my class page. To access an item that you have saved to work on later, you go to your View menu and choose Draft Items, and that will open your draft folder. Here's that newsletter that we were working on. When you're in your draft folder, you can delete an item. You can edit it. If you click Edit, it will open this particular document. The title name is over here. Notice Newsletter Demo. So I can delete it. I can edit it. I can actually duplicate it, which basically is a Save As feature. When I click Duplicate, I will get two exact copies. Let me scroll so you can see. Notice I've got one that I can save and one that I can actually open and edit. So if you want a particular document to be saved and then to also be able to edit it, use duplicate item and then open one of your text items, make your changes, and then you'll always have the other one there. And you can also publish from this page. So let's open this and continue working with this. We're going to click Edit, and it's going to open this same newsletter. So I would continue to make my changes, and then it would be time to save it. Let's assume that we are finished with this particular item. So I'm going to click Save. It's going to save my changes, and now I'm going to click Publish. When you click Publish, if your school is set up so that you require content approval, then on this window you will see a little message that will let you know that your content has been sent to the administrators for approval. If you do not require approval, or if you're a director approving content and you're ready to publish, then you will see a page that looks like this. You have the option at the top to update the users. If you leave it, don't update, nothing happens. Your information will just be posted to your website. If you choose update, then you will send a message to the parents that will let them know that there's new information on their site. And if you do choose to update, you have the ability, and this will be mostly for directors that are approving content or teachers who can publish directly. But you have the ability to change the subject as well as modify the text a little. For the demo purposes, we're going to leave it as do not update. Down below, you'll have an area where you can select your class. Teachers of only one class, you'll only have your class here. If you've been assigned to multiple classes, you'll be able to publish your newsletter to multiple classes if you wish. And directors, you'll have a list of all classes. So the teacher who has provided the document or created that document will be selected, and directors can choose to share that item with other classes if you need to. But for teachers of only one class, you will not have choices here. You'll just have your one class. When you've set the publishing guidelines, then you click Submit, and your item will go to your website if you do not require approval. If you are a teacher that requires approval, then your item will go into your pending page. On your View menu, you've got three choices: Published, Pending, and Draft. Published are items that the parents can see. So if you're in Published Items View, you are looking at what the parents can see. If you have submitted a document to be published but the director has not approved it yet, it will be on your pending items. So if you click Pending Items, if you had anything pending, you would have that item here. And that just allows you to see that your particular text item has not disappeared. It's just waiting for your director to approve it. And then, of course, Draft Items takes you back into your draft folder. Once you've published items to your page, you have choices up at the top. So here's our newsletter title. Out to the right, we can delete this item, we can edit it, we can move it to draft, and we can publish it. Well, it's already published. If you delete it, it's going to do exactly that. It's going to delete that item from your site. If you edit it, it will open it and allow you to make changes to it. So if you notice a typo, then even after it's published, you can click Edit and fix your typo. If this is a document that you want to take from your class page but you do not want to delete it, you can choose to move it to draft, and it'll move it back to your draft folder so that it's out of the parent's view, but it's not totally gone. And if you make any changes to this, you'll need to publish it again. We've got published there. For this, I'm going to delete it because I want to show you that you'll get a little pop-up box. Are you sure you want to delete this item? Yes, I'm sure, so I'm going to click OK. Okay. Occasionally, you'll decide that you want to use one of our templates, but our template may be too long for you or too short for you. You may need to add to it. So I'm going to show you how to add rows and delete rows from your template. If you go to your Add menu and choose Text Item and pick one of our templates, I'm going to use this Days of the Week for this second example. You would go in, you would still give it a title. You would modify anything that you wish to modify. So if you wanted to change any of the text, remember you can highlight it and change it. You can add your graphics by using clip art, or you can go to your albums and copy a picture and then come in and paste it. And just to show you, if you can select the text, you can replace it. If you cannot select the text, for example, this Our Week at the top, when I click that, it shows me that it's just an image, so I can't change the words Our Week because it's part of the image. So if you can't drag over it with your mouse, then you can't change the text. But anything you can select, you can replace with your own. So let's say this week that we're doing this particular newsletter, the kids are only in school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I do not need Thursday or Friday. I can click in the row. So Thursday is a row that I do not want. When I click next to Thursday, notice my cursor's blinking. Out to the left, you'll notice some arrows with an X. If I click the X, that will take that row out. So I can delete the rows that I do not need just by clicking the X's over here to the left. And I'm just showing you, sometimes you'll see the X in the middle. Okay, so to delete a row, that way I can shorten this template and I won't have just blank spaces. To delete a row, all you have to do is click in the row and then click the X. Be sure you click the X with the arrows going up and down. That will delete the row that you're on. These X's that have arrows that go right and left will take out the whole column, so be careful. Do not click those or you'll lose this whole section of your newsletter. Occasionally you may need to add rows. I'm going to show you up here on your toolbar, you've got an Insert Table button. When you click on it, you've got a table wizard down below, and you've got some choices. There's an insert row above, an insert row below. And just to show you, before you use any of these buttons, make sure you know where your cursor is. For example, I'm going to put my cursor right here next to Monday to demonstrate this. So I'm in this row. If I go to my table menu and I choose Insert Row Above, it's going to put that row right above where I am. And it's going to, because I'm in this row, it copies that formatting. That's why it looks the same. If I insert row below, it'll put that row down below. Okay, so to delete the rows, I X them. To insert row, I click where I want the row to be inserted. I go to my table menu up here. I can click Insert Row Above, and it'll put the row above it. If I do Insert Row Below, it will put the row below it. You can also use this to delete rows. So I'm in this row. If I go up to my table menu and I find the button that says Delete Row, that'll take out that row for me as well. So if you don't want to use the X's and you want to just only use the buttons, you've got the ability here. You also, those of you that like to use right-click, you can right-click when you're in the table, and you've got some of those commands there as well. So you can take a template that we've designed and you can customize it to suit your needs. Once that template is customized, let's say you want to use the same layout every week, then once you have it looking the way you want it to look, save it as a draft before you put any text, like weekly text, in there. And now you can use, if I go to my draft items, I can use that template over and over and over again by creating duplicates of it before I put my text in. Okay. So just while we're here in the draft items, I want to point out that the duplicate item one more time. That allows you to create an exact copy of that document, and it allows you to then be able to modify one and save one as an empty template. All right, the last thing I'm going to show you, I'm actually going to take us back to the published items. The last thing I'm going to show you is how to create your own layout from scratch, meaning using one of the empty templates, we're going to create a layout from scratch. To create a text item without using one of our suggested layouts, you would choose Add Text Item and click on Empty Template. When you click on Empty Template, you're going to have one text box here, one cell here, just as a suggestion. I'm actually going to delete that to show you that you can take that out and start over with your own table. So I'm deleting the one text box that's there, and now I have an empty space here, totally empty. You can start typing if you wish, and you can just type and put pictures in here. But if you do that and you do not use a table, then you may run into some spacing issues with getting the image exactly where you want it and, you know, lining the text up. We suggest using tables when you create your layout. So I'm going to go up to this Insert Table, and just for the example, I'm going to insert a table that is 2 by 2. It's going to have 2 rows and 2 columns. So I go up to Insert Table, I move my mouse so that it shows a highlighted 2 by 2 table, and then I click in that corner cell. You're going to look at this and say, wait a minute, that's tiny, I cannot work with this. Click inside, just anywhere in that table, and it'll select it, and yes, it's very tiny. Go to the corner and make that table the width of this text editor just by dragging across. And that will make those cells a little larger and allow you to go in and add information. You can add graphics. Even though there's not a gray box holding a picture, or place for a picture, as long as your cursor is there, you can go in and add graphics. So I'm going to go to my image manager, and I'm going to go to the winter folder, and I'm going to pick, you've got several pictures here, I'm going to pick the image that I wish, and then I'm going to click Insert. Yes, it changes the dimensions of this cell, but don't worry. As you continue to add images and add text, these cells will adjust. So I'm going to, for the time being, leave my snowman there, and I'm actually going to click in this bottom right cell. Notice the cursor blinking down the bottom right cell. And I'm going to add another picture. So I'm going back to my image manager. I'm going to go back into that winter folder. And I'm going to choose these mittens that are here and insert. So see, it adjusts, it shifts the cells around. It will modify the widths of the cell. Let's talk about these images. When you insert it, notice how it's over to the left. Once again, before we actually move the image, you can also click on the image and adjust the size if you wish. But if you don't want it over to the left of that cell, you can use your alignment tools up here to move it to the center. So I've just clicked on the image, I've clicked center, and it's put it in the center. I'll do that again for my mittens. I've clicked on the image. Notice how they're selected. If I want them in the middle, I click there. Just to demonstrate, if you click to the right, it'll move them to the right. So you can quickly align them within the column that they're in. And then you would type your text here. So I'm just for time's sake, I'm just going to be very generic just to show you that you would type your text. If you don't like the font or formatting, you can come up and choose your new formatting. Choose your new sizes if you wish, bold it, whatever you wish to do to your text. You can center it. I mean, you've got all of the alignment there as well. So you would type your text here, and then you'd do the same thing down below. Once this is the way you want it to be, you would be ready to either publish it or save it. I did forget to put a name at the top, so watch what happens. When I go to save the draft, it blinks and it's like, no, you can't go on. You need a name up here. So if it appears your screen isn't working and you're like, well, I'm trying to save it, but it's just sitting there, take a quick glance to the left and see if you've got a title. So don't forget to title it. And then you can save it or publish it. Okay. I'm going to go to the draft items just to show you where there's my newsletter that I started. I'm going to open it back up and show you just a couple more things for those of you that want to venture out and get brave with your newsletters. So I'm going to open this. I'm going to click Edit to open it. And while we're in it this time, I'm going to add some rows above. So notice I've clicked, my cursor is with Mr. Snowman here. I'm going to go to my Insert Table, and I'm going to say Add Row Above. And on this row above, I want to put the title for my newsletter, or the title for my item. And I actually want that to be centered, not here in this cell, but I want it to be centered across. So after I get it to looking the way that I want it to look, I'm going to show you how to merge those cells. So I want it to be centered across both columns. You can right-click, just for you right-clickers. Notice you've got merge cells horizontally and merge cells vertically. For those of you who do not want to right-click, if you come back to your table menu, you've got all of these buttons, and down on the bottom, there's one that says Merge Cells Horizontally. When you click that, it merges those two cells together. So it allows you to have one block across the top instead of the two columns. So once again, to review the merging, I will first I'm going to add a row below this bottom row. So I'm going to my menu and I'm saying add insert row below. Down here on the bottom, I don't want my text to be just over here. I want it to be merged across. So while clicking in this row, I'm going to go to my table wizard and I'm going to say merge horizontally. It left my text to the side. All I have to do to get it in the very middle is adjust the alignment. So you have the capability to add rows, to merge cells, to add graphics, to add text. Should you want to use your own pictures instead of our clip art, remember you can copy and paste from your album or from pictures that are on your desktop. If you do that, if you choose to copy and paste, when you use the paste button, it will give you a little keyboard shortcut that will tell you to Control-V. So if you're used to clicking a button that looks like this to paste, you'll get a little pop-up that will remind you that Control-V will also paste. There are places where you need to use the keyboard, and if so, we'll prompt you. We'll put a little pop-up there for you. You can adjust the color behind your cells as well. To do that, I'm going to show you by using the right click. So I have clicked inside this cell. See the cursor blinking. I'm going to right click and I want to go down to cell properties. That's going to open. Over here is just a little preview of the layout of my table. Notice I've got the merged cell across the top, my 4 middle cells, and then the merged cells across the bottom. I am going to be formatting the cell that is grayed out. So this gray box. Over here on the right, you've got a background color. And I'm going to just pick a wild color so that it shows up out there. It's very evident. But you pick the color that you wish as your background color and click OK. And notice how that background has changed. So to demonstrate that again, let's go to the cell that has the text in it. I'm going to right click, choose Cell Properties. The cell that is gray will be the one that is affected. So for this one, let's pick the lighter pink just to show the contrast. So I've picked the light pink for that cell. I can also, while I'm here, instead of going out and coming back in, going out and coming back in, if you know you want to color the top row a different color, just click on it while you're here and pick the color for the top row. Once you've just set all of your background colors, click OK, and it'll do all of that at one time. I need to center this text right here. So when you're working with creating your very own, those of you that are going to venture out and do that, we suggest creating a table. And then once the table is there, you can right-click and have different commands that will allow you to change your table. Or those of you that do not wish to right-click, you can come up to your table wizard and you've got different commands here. Okay. You do have, when you're in this, let's get back to this. You can modify your table properties as well. It will open up a box that looks just like cell properties. Actually, it's not just like it. It is the same box. You just have 4 tabs. For those of you that want to get brave, you've got table design, table properties, your cell properties, and then some accessibility there. But you can change the layout of your table by using table properties, those of you that wish to do that. If you want to change cell by cell, make sure you're on the cell property tab, and then that gets you cell by cell. Okay, I think we have covered everything on our outline except for copying and pasting from Word. I just want to mention you can copy text. If you've typed a paragraph in Microsoft Word or another word processing program, you can highlight that text and copy it and then come in here and paste it. Be careful when you do that. If the formatting isn't compatible, it may take your text, if you've got it all pretty in Word, it may bring it in here and change it. If so, just select it and come up and use the formatting options that you have in your text editor. Okay, so you can copy and paste from Word. I'm going to click Save on this very colorful newsletter, and I'm going to go back out to my class page just to show you a couple examples to review before we end the webinar. This first text item, this is basically what we did just a couple minutes ago. This is a 2x2 cell. It's got graphics in 2 of the cells and text in 2 of the cells. So that's something that you can do. You can create from scratch. This down below is actually the same process. It's just a table that has 2 cells. One over here, this is a cell over here with text in it, and a cell over here with a picture in it. And then down below that, this is an example of using one of our templates and filling in the blanks. We hope you have gained some information from our webinar, and we hope that you all will go out and create some very colorful, attractive newsletters, and that you'll be able to use the tools that we've given you with our templates and with the text editor on your class page. I do want to show you a way or ways to get in touch with us if you need some help. On your home page, actually it's now called the Switch Page menu. At the bottom there's a Help Center button. That will open up some documents that will lead you through how to perform the different tasks on your Eduloop site. Over here on your home page there's a live chat that is available certain times of day. So you can click on that and it'll show you the times that it's available. We've got an 800 number that is manned 9 to 5 Monday through Friday Eastern Time. You can call, and if you've got technical issues, leave us a message if you do not get an answer, and the techs on call or the support people on call will call you back. The best way to get help, though, is to email us at support@micro-steps.com. When you email us, include information like the browser that you're using, and give us as much detail about the problem that you're having or the question that you have, and someone will email you back or call us or call you back if you provide a phone number. Thank you